So, ma'am, what we discovered today was that Mrs. Corona actually only registered as a taxpayer in 2003. What does that mean?
It was a very stunning revelation that uh, she was never a taxpayer until the year 2003. I say it's stunning because she claimed to be vice president of the Basa Guidote Enterprises Incorporated, their family corporation, and she was an administrator of the estate of the Basa Guidote Enterprises. So she was collecting rentals from their property in Manila, from their 8 tenants in that building, and she um, sold the property of the Basa Guidote Enterprises in 2001. So it's very stunning to know that she only became a taxpayer in 2003. And of course, when she joined John Hay in 2007 or earlier as board member, then she had to, there were taxes withheld from her.
So, the people watching this will ask, what's the relation of, for example, let's say Mrs. Corona only became a taxpayer in 2003, henceforth. How does that relate to the charges against Chief Justice Corona under Article 2?
Yeah, I think the question that we're all asking is how can Chief Justice Renato Corona and Mrs. Corona afford the properties that they have declared in their SALN, having learned today that the annual income of Chief Justice Corona is only about 600,000 plus. That's based on his fixed salary. That's not counting allowances. But still, it's quite low. And it has been established today that there's no other source of income for Chief Justice Corona. And then we also found out today, so it's a very significant day in terms, I think, for the prosecution, is that Mrs. Corona has also no declared income. So again, in the next week or the next few days, we'll see how to make sense of this. How capable are they of really affording these properties?
So how do you think the ruling of the Senate on Article 2, for now excluding the charge on ill-gotten wealth, affects like all of these documents that we're now seeing, all these revelations?
I think to say that it's ill-gotten is to arrive at a conclusion. That's why, as of this point, it's for us we consider this unexplained wealth, and I think that's a good enough starting point for the prosecution and even for the public to try to make sense of the SALNs and the properties.
So, since you said today is a significant day, moving forward, what needs to be established or what needs to be asked? What are the questions that must be asked?
I think we need to listen or to have financial experts or financial analysts who are really good in what they do to analyze the statements of assets and liabilities and the ITRs, the declared incomes, because that will give a complete picture of the cash flow and really how much the coronas are able to afford. Because as we know, that Chief Justice borrowed 11 million from the Basa Guidote Enterprises, and is with the ITRs that we have seen today, with the alpha list rather, how was he able to pay back the 11 million cash advance? So we will all have to look for answers to these questions in the next few days.